Here's Alexander Vassiliev, as I say, Espionage Expert, former KGB Intelligence Officer. Alexander, thanks for talking to us today. What way would a parliamentary spy operate? What are they looking for? Why are they so valuable to countries like China and Russia?
Well, a researcher, for instance, in the British Parliament could be used in at least three ways. First, to acquire sensitive information, because I believe that researchers can request information from different government departments like Defense, Foreign Office, Treasury, and so on. It's one way. Another way is to make an impact, influence on political views of members of parliament, to promote ideas beneficial, for instance, in this case, beneficial to China. And the third way, such a person could work as a talent spotter. Talent spotter means that he would be collecting personal information about members of parliament and members of the staff. For instance, their political views, their financial situation, their family relations, and so on. So it's a pretty good source to have as a researcher in the parliament.
It's interesting. We're seeing what appears to be kind of the rise of spying again. I mean, we had the National, Official Secrets Act being used to arrest 3 Serbians earlier this year who were alleged to have been spying for Russia. And now these 2 arrests in Parliament. Why are we seeing this increase? And particularly with China, I suppose they've had these 3 decades, haven't they, of huge economic growth. Now their economy's stalling. Are they looking to try and destabilise Western democracies in this way? What's the motive?
Now, look, Britain is a liberal democracy, and it's more vulnerable to espionage threats, more vulnerable than countries like Russia or China. And there is another factor. In the KGB lingo, it's called agent operational environment, агентурная оперативная обстановка, agent operational environment. It means a combination of factors which facilitates espionage work in this country. And from that point of view, Britain is in a pretty bad shape. I can give you an example. In 2016, I was shocked by the results of the Brexit referendum. I was shocked by the fact that 48% of the voters voted against Brexit. To me, Brexit is a very simple idea. It's about Britain's sovereignty. It's about Britain being ruled by British politicians, democratically elected by British people. But if 48% believe that Britain should be ruled by someone else, by people who they don't even know, it's a bad sign. But I mean, I'm not saying that all 48% are potential spies or traitors, but as an intelligence officer, I would pay attention to this how person I'm talking to feels about Brexit, and if he is a Remainer, I would make a note in my head and then in my files.
Gosh, that's interesting, because of course Russia's been accused, haven't they, of being involved in some ways in that vote, and obviously your position as a Russian, fascinating and all this. I mean, how do you end up being a former KGB intelligence officer? Perhaps you always remain one.
Well, no, well, are you asking, am I a KGB spy now?
I don't know.
Once a spy, always a spy.
Well, no, it's actually not true. Look, it's different. It's difficult to tell a spy because espionage is about human relationship. It's about relationship between an officer and his agent, his source. So basically, spies are first and foremost, they are trained to be nice people. I spent 2 years in the KGB spy school being trained as a Mr. Nice, and I'm sure you can see the result.
Excellent training.
But then pay attention when they're trying to get sensitive personal information about you, about your financial situation and about your political views. Like I said, for instance, about Brexit. Yeah. It's a very important thing. your attitude towards Brexit. And also, of course, money.
And Alexander, I suppose the less obvious a spy is, whatever we think a spy looks like, the better. Because there was that couple who were Bulgarian or Romanian or whatever, and they were living in suburbia, and no one ever thought anything of them. So sometimes they can be innocent, they can be innocuous, and the less like a spy they are, probably the more effective they are.
Yes, look, spies on the surface are normal, nice people. You know, you could be a spy easily. both of you. You could be nice
maybe
spy couple. Well, maybe you are. Well, can you prove that you are not? You can't. You can't. So they're nice people because they're trained to be nice.
Right. Alexander, thank you. Very, very interesting getting an insight from you there. Alexander Vassiliev is a former spy. That's what he used to do. Thank you very much indeed. Thank you. Biggins, you see, I always look at you, I think you could be a spy. You could be a spy.
I couldn't be a spy. I tell you why.
You could, because people would laugh. You make people laugh and they tell you anything.
No, but the thing is, that I couldn't bear being tortured.
You'd give everything up.
I would get. I mean, if they went near my nails and started to rip them off, I would tell them my life story. I would tell them everybody I've been with since the year dot. I mean, you know, it wouldn't be right.
So it's okay until he's caught.
Well, this is it. But if you're a good spy, you don't get caught. And that's got to be the way forward, hasn't it? But I think Biggins definitely, out of the four of us sitting here, I would put my money on Biggins.
But it's interesting from Alexander. Isabel raised an interesting point. How do you get out of being a spy? I mean, I don't think you can hand your... Alexander, I don't think you can hand your resignation into the Kremlin and just say, thank you, it was very nice, I've had enough now, I'm off.
Well, look, I believe I was the first one who resigned from the KGB Intelligence Service. It was in February 1990. I didn't know anyone else who did that. And I did that for political and moral reasons, because, you know, basically espionage is a crime. Anyone understands that. They are not stupid spies. So if you, for instance, if you operate in this country, you are not really in danger, especially if you are a diplomat. You have diplomatic immunity. But if your agent gets caught by MI5, his life is ruined, his family's life is ruined. It's a crime. So if you are prepared to do this kind of crime, you should be sure that you are doing it for some worthy cause, for your motherland, for your country. And by the time I decided to resign, I just couldn't see that. I thought I would be wasting my time doing something I didn't want to do. And
Alexander, in the 30 seconds that we've got left, there's this outrage that Britain has that China is spying on them. But isn't the truth is we're all spying on each other?
Yes, we are. And of course, MI6 is one of the most experienced intelligence services. And Russians, frankly, have a philosophical attitude about it, because espionage, spying is one of the oldest professions. It's like prostitution. So, we are cool about it. And I don't know how the Chinese feel about it, but Russians are cool about it.